Hello and welcome back. This video is going to be relatively short but packed with information about which podcasts I recommend if you're learning German and what levels I think you should have to better appreciate, benefit from, and of course understand them. Los geht's. Start off with something relatively easy and fun, and that is Coffee Break German. This is a really relaxing and enjoyable podcast. I recommend it to anybody who's starting to learn German or wants to start German, who also wants to take it easy at the beginning and learn German in a fun and relaxed manner. I really enjoy this podcast because essentially you can progress along with the podcast, along with the Scottish guy who is learning German alongside with you in the podcast, and basically have a friend and a teacher, the German native, also in the podcast, available to you whenever you want to take a German lesson. So it's really, really good in that manner. And you can start this podcast as a complete beginner. So that's why I have it first. And plus it's available free on Spotify. Number 2 is Slow German mit Annie Rubens. You should be totally fine listening to this podcast with an A2, or if you have an A1 level and want to push yourself for harder content, then this will be a really, really good resource for you to use as well. I say this because she talks about a very specific theme and or topic in each episode. She speaks slowly and very clearly, and the episodes or the podcast episodes last only between 10 and 15 minutes. And the best part about them is that there is a transcript available free under each episode on Spotify for you to read along with and learn vocab that way. And this will be a recurring theme throughout the rest of this video. I absolutely love when I can listen to my target language while also reading along with it, and that's probably why I love the Link app so much. Number 3 is Warum nicht, and it is a really lovely free podcast available on Spotify and the website, and it caters for levels from A1 to B1. I can only find the series catering for A2 and B1 on Spotify, but all are available on the website, which I will link in the description below. How the episodes are structured is that there is a host who will describe what you're about to hear in English, and then the German scene will play out. So this is a really good way to increase your comprehension without it being so taxing, because there are breaks between when you are listening to German and when you're not listening to German. There are about 26 episodes per season or series, and there are 4 series altogether, again from A1 to B1. So that's a lot of free content for you guys to avail of, and I really do recommend it. They're nice, easy, digestible pieces because they're not all in German. So if that's something that you prefer to listen to, then really do recommend these. Number 4 is News in Slow German. This is a really, really good website, and it's fantastic for when you want to improve your vocab about everyday topics and the news, obviously. But the only downside is that it is not a free resource. You have to pay roughly about $15 a month for access to this, and that's the reason why I'm not going to spend too long on it in this video. But with this subscription, you do get access to the full transcripts and flashcards for each transmission or each episode. And inside the transcription, there are highlighted words which you can click on, the more difficult words, for you to get an instant translation for those when you're reading through it as you're listening. They have both beginner and intermediate content, A1, A2 to B1, B2, around that area. And number 5, of course you are probably expecting this in this video, is Easy German. And this is hands down my favorite podcast for learning German. And I'd say it's suitable for B1 to B2 students. All their episodes are available on, well, not all of them. Their episodes are available on Spotify. They're roughly about 30 minutes long, and they're all about different themes and are topics discussed by 2 native German speakers, namely Manuel and Kari. Then the name of the podcast is a little bit deceiving because it really isn't as easy as one might expect from the title. But once you're expecting that and you know what level you need to have before you start listening, it is a wonderful resource and it's an amazing podcast to listen to. I was a member, and I will be a member again in the future, of their Patreon, the Easy German Podcast Patreon, for $8 a month. And within this subscription, you get access to, well, firstly you get access to the exercises and little practice quizzes after each of their YouTube videos, but more importantly you get access to their transcripts for their podcasts. So I subscribed for a month and then I downloaded as many of the transcripts as I could in that month, uploaded them to link, but that's just my personal, you don't have to do that, but that's where I study from. So I would go through the transcript there while listening to their episodes on Spotify. This is an amazing way to learn German in my opinion. It is fantastic and it's really accredited to a lot of my German progress in my opinion. Okay, now number 6 we have SWR2 Wissen, or SWR2, like knowledge, right? And I would class this podcast as like B2 to C2 because it's aimed at native speakers. So that in and of itself should tell you that the level of vocab and language will be much higher than any of the other podcasts that I have mentioned thus far in this video. They do cover really interesting topics, and that's why I really love this podcast, including psychology, medicine, climate change, etc. Just really, really interesting topics that I actually want to listen to and want to study from it. That being said, if you're listening to these topics and thinking to yourself, surely that's C2, I couldn't do that with B2. Yeah, maybe you're right. I can't listen to them on their own. They are all available on Spotify. That being said, but I couldn't just put one on and listen to it and understand everything. Not yet, anyway, not yet. However, with each of these episodes available on Spotify, if you click the episodes, available in the little description part of each episode is a link to the website where you can download a free transcript and read along to each episode and highlight words, learn words, import them to link. It's slightly above my level still, but because I have access to this transcript and I can read it at my own pace, learn the words and test my comprehension that way, I think it's a wonderful thing to gradually increase your vocab and understanding of native German content. Last but not least, we have number 7, and that is Deutschlandfunk. So this may be more of a collection of podcasts or radio broadcasts and articles, etc. And I would say it's suitable for B2 to C2 again. And if you search Deutschlandfunk on Spotify, you'll be greeted with a collection of different genres of media that you can click through and search through, from culture to politics to, I don't know, business, etc. However, these are all available and probably more clearly and more useful on their website, deutschlandfunk.de. So I'll have that linked in the description as well. You can search the different genres, pick which one you like, look through, see which title or which episode piques your interest, catches your eye, click on it. I would suggest probably reading through the article first, learn the vocab that is new to you, get a gist of what's going to be talked about in the episode or in the transmission from the radio or whatever, and then have a go at actually listening through it and testing your comprehension that way. So there you have it. Those are my top 7 podcasts that I recommend if you're trying to learn German from the complete beginner to consuming native content with the help of transcript and articles to boost your vocabulary in a much more efficient way than just listening alone. If you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button down below, leave a comment on your thoughts about the list of podcasts I have recommended, if you tried them before, if you're going to try them, or you think about them. And of course, if you think this video will be useful to someone you know who's learning German, don't forget to share them and spread the word. It really helps me out. That's all for now. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, bis bald, tschüss.